On the Global News Express, SSANU, NASU begins strike Brown varsities. Army laments poor power as FG begins metering barracks. UNICEF calls for social policy to tackle child poverty. China congratulates Putin on election victory. And in sports, Joshua rises in Ring Magazine heavyweight rankings. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express. On Global Television, we're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. Members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union have begun a nationwide strike today, Monday, over alleged unfair treatment and disparity in the payment of salaries by the federal government. Last Monday, the unions threatened to shut down hostels and power supply universities across the country if the federal government fails to meet its demands before today, March 18, 2024. National President of SSANU, Mohammed Ibrahim, said his members, including vice chancellors, registrars, and bosses, have not been paid 2022 arrears. The All Progressives Congress APC has settled for Honorable Dennis Idahosa as its deputy governorship candidate in the September 21st Edo governorship election. APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje and National Secretary Senator Ajibola Bashiru are to present Senator Monday Okwegboholo, the party's flag bearer, and his running mate to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the Villa today. Idahosa is to replace Honorable Omorege Ogbeide Ihama, who was announced by the governorship candidate last week as his running mate. Moving on, the federal government of Nigeria extended its condolences to the government and people of the Republic of Ghana over the demise of its High Commissioner to Nigeria, His Excellency Rashid Bawa. Bawa reportedly died in Abuja on Thursday after a brief illness. The federal government, in a statement signed by the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Francisca Omayuli, said the late Bawa will be missed greatly. The 8 lawmakers suspended by the Zamfara State House of Assembly said they had been hunted out of the state by political talks for exposing the increasing wave of insecurity in the state. They also said the House had written to them to return their official vehicles to the clerk while addressing a press conference in Zaria, Kaduna State. The lawmakers alleged that some security agents had been sent to hunt them without any reason, a situation which made them go into hiding. Bashir Aliu, who spoke on behalf of the suspended lawmakers, said they would not be silenced until action was taken to tame the high level of insecurity in Zamfara. The Nigerian Army has confirmed the killing of its officers who were on a peacekeeping mission to 2 warring communities in Delta State. Those who lost their lives include a lieutenant colonel, 2 majors, 1 captain, and 12 soldiers. While confirming the incident, the director, Defense Information Brigadier General Tukur Gusau, says the unfortunate incident occurred when the troops responded to a distress call after a communal crisis between Okwama and Okoloba communities, both in Delta State. The reinforcement team, led by the commanding officer, was also attacked, leading to the death of the commanding officer, 2 majors, 1 captain, and 12 soldiers. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has called on state governments in Adamawa, Bauchi, and Gombe to put in place better social policy as a way of tackling child poverty. The UN agency made the call during a 2-day meeting held in Gombe, organized by the Bauchi field office of UNICEF, with experts on social policy as well as journalists from the 3 states. During the meeting, the participants were exposed to issues that trigger child poverty, which has become a major threat to children's well-being and future. UNICEF Social Policy Specialist Dr. Yusuf Auta made a presentation on child poverty and its drivers, as well as the multidimensional child poverty in Adamawa, Bauchi, and Gombe states, using recent poverty statistics as it affects children. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum laid the foundation for constructing an eye and dental hospital in Biu, the headquarters of Biu Local Government Council. The eye hospital will feature 2 operation theaters, consulting rooms, and administrative complex and male and female wards with a combined capacity of 56 beds. Meanwhile, the dental hospital will be equipped with all the facilities necessary to provide dental care to the people. The governor stated that his administration has approved 2 eye and dental hospitals to be situated in southern and northern Borno to complement the one in Maiduguri. In compliance with the directive of President Bola Tinubu on immediate reopening of land border with Niger Republic, the Comptroller, Nigeria Customs Service, Kebbi State Command Ihena Cho Ojike, has reopened Kamba land border. While reopening the border, Ojike says Kamba is a strategic border with a major share in Kebbi State's revenue generation. The border reopening is aimed at paving the way for legitimate trade that will impact positively on nation building, not permission for importation of prohibited items that would threaten the economy and compromise national security. You're watching News Express, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Express returns, federal government offers 450 billion naira bonds to investors. This and other stories coming right after this break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, if you've just joined us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the News Express. On the foreign scene, North Korea fired a ballistic missile, Seoul's military say, as U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken visited South Korea to meet top officials and attend a democracy summit. Blinken is in Seoul for the 3rd Summit for Democracy, an initiative of U.S. President Joe Biden, which the South is hosting this week, and is set to meet his Korean counterpart on the sidelines for talks. Key security allies Washington and Seoul wrapped up one of their major annual joint military training exercises last week, prompting angry retorts and tit-for-tat drills from nuclear-armed Pyongyang. Japan also confirmed the launch, with the Japan Coast Guard saying the object appeared to have already fallen. Meanwhile, key Russian ally China congratulated President Vladimir Putin on his election victory, with 99% of polling stations having submitted results. Putin had secured 87.33% of all votes cast. Official election data showed Monday. According to state news agency, it was a record victory for Putin in a presidential election where he faced no genuine competition. Putin heaped praise on Beijing, saying he was sure that in the coming years they would only strengthen and build up their relations and achieve common successes for the benefit of the Chinese and Russian people. Britain's Foreign Minister David Cameron says the results of the Russian election showed the depth of repression under President Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin praised Putin's landslide re-election for a 5th term in office as eloquent confirmation of the people's support. But Cameron, who on Sunday evening said the election was neither free nor fair, dismissed the poll outcome as undemocratic. The Kremlin has presented the weekend election marred by ballot spoilers and Ukrainian bombardments of border regions as proof Russians back Putin's assault on Ukraine. Cameron also cited the death of Putin's main political rival, Alexei Navalny, as evidence of the extent of Putin's repression. France said the election that extended Russian President Vladimir Putin's rule for another 6 years took place amid repression and hailed the many Russians who demonstrated their opposition. The French Foreign Ministry said Paris had taken note of the expected outcome of the 3-day polls, which saw Putin obtain a 5th term in the Kremlin. The 71-year-old Russian leader, who has been in power since 2000, ran unopposed by any serious rival and after his most vocal critic, Alexei Navalny, died suddenly in an Arctic prison last month. Now let's move over to the business desk. No fewer than 17 out of the existing 24 deposit money banks may be unable to meet the Central Bank of Nigeria's capital requirement if it is increased from its current 25 billion naira. The CBN Governor, Olayemi Cardoso, had in several fora stated that the Apex Bank would consider an increase in the minimum capital base of banks in the country as part of its efforts to strengthen their capacity to support Nigeria's drive to become a $1 trillion economy by 2026. The current capital base is stratified based on the type of banking license. Banks with regional, national and international licenses are currently expected to maintain a minimum capital base of 10 billion naira, 25 billion naira and 50 billion naira respectively. The Nigerian Army has expressed concern about the inadequate power supply in the Ikeja military cantonment, Lagos. This is as the federal government allocated 12.7 billion naira for the mass metering project in all army formations. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu spoke during the flag-off of the meeting exercise at the headquarters of the 9th Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Ikeja military cantonment. According to a statement by his media aide, Bolaji Tunji, Adelabu explained that the current exercise, the sum of 12.7 billion naira has been released out of a total of 40 billion naira for the mass metering project. The minister had stated that the mass metering in army formations nationwide will enable them enhance monthly appropriate billings and ease collections, adding that the overall intention is to make estimated billing a thing of the past. The federal government is seeking to raise 450 billion naira from the investing public in a new debt issuance aimed at bridging government deficit and deepening the domestic capital market. It was learned the Debt Management Office, DMO, which oversees the issuance and management of Nigeria's sovereign debt, will conduct a primary market auction, PMA, for 3 issuances through which it aims to raise the fund. The 3 bonds on offer included a new issuance, the 3-year FGN March 2027 and reopening of the 7-year 18.50% FGN February 2031 and 10-year 19% FGN February 2034 bonds. The federal government has provided clarifications regarding the recent memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Transportation and MPH Rail Development Limited, a construction firm from the United Kingdom. According to the government, the agreement is not considered binding. This follows recent reports stating that the FG entered into a memorandum of understanding with an unknown company. Moving on, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, says it is committed to collaborating with the international community in addressing Nigeria's food and nutrition challenges. Dr. Donald Brown, IFAD Associate Vice President Rome, made this known at the International News Conference in Abuja, says the mission was to deepen IFAD's partnership with the federal government and also support government's efforts at food system transformation. According to him, the gesture is geared towards food and nutrition, security, improved livelihoods and smallholder farmers, and inclusive agro-industrialization. He further says IFAD worked in rural communities with smallholder farmers to improve food security and agriculture, adding that the organization has strong partnership with government. He assured that the organization will design a new project to support the government's food production value chain on climate adaptation. The leaders of the Fulani nationals in Nigeria, expressing concern over the challenges faced by pastoralists, have issued a stern warning threatening to halt the sales of livestock nationwide if their grievances are not addressed. The communique issued at the end of the Fulbe National Security Summit, organized by the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, was presented by the National President of MACBAN, Baba Othman Gelzama. Ngel emphasized that pastoralists have been unfairly targeted for crimes in the country, joined by leaders of Tabito Polaku International and Fulbe Global Development and Rights Initiative. Ngel alleged that the government has not made significant progress in addressing the root causes of the current conflict and the challenges faced by the Fulani community. And now, as we end the Global News Express, let's take a quick look at some of our top stories. SSANU, NASU begins strike ground universities. Army laments poor power as FG begins metering barracks. UNICEF calls for social policy to tackle child poverty. China congratulates Putin on election victory. And that's it on News Express, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.